Hello students, today we are going to discuss chapter 13 of your English grammar, that is non-finite verbs. Now before learning to the kinds of non-finite verbs and the uses, we will learn the difference between the finite and non-finite verbs. Now here we have two examples like Sergeant went to market to purchase fruits, and another example is here Ria ran fast to save a child. See, when we look into these two examples, here we have two verbs, like in the first sentence we have went and to purchase, and in the second sentence ran and to save. So when we the verbs that which comes next to the subject is called the finite verbs. For example, here like in the first sentence went, and in the second sentence ran. This comes just after the subject. So therefore we can say that the verbs which comes next after the subject is called the finite verbs. And we have another verb like to purchase and to save. So the verbs which comes elsewhere of a sentence is called the non-finite verbs. For example, like to purchase and to save are the examples of non-finite verbs of these two examples. Okay, again let us see the next difference of the finite and non-finite verb. Here we have two examples, like first one is Radha is dancing beautifully, and the sentence is in present continuous tense. Secondly, Radha and Mala are dancing beautifully. This sentence also is in the present continuous tense. And the third sentence is Radha danced beautifully. As you know, this sentence is in the past tense. So, when we look into the first sentence, Radha is a singular noun or the singular subject. So, therefore, we have used is dancing. And in the second sentence, we have the plural nouns like Radha and Mala. So, therefore, we have used are dancing. And the third sentence is in the past tense. So, therefore, we have changed the form of the verb in the past tense. We have used danced. So, considering these three examples, we can say a finite verb changes according to the tense, person or time. Now, what is a non-finite verb? Non-finite verb does not show any particular tense, person or time. In other words, if you look at a non-finite verb, you cannot tell that if that sentence is in the past, present or future tense. Like here example, Radha danced beautifully to show her mother. As we know, this sentence is in the past tense. And the second example, Radha is dancing beautifully to show her mother. So this second sentence is in the present continuous tense. But the verb which shows that to show, and then the second sentence also to show, it remains same. Whether it is in the present continuous tense or in the past tense, it remains same. So we can say that a non-finite verb do not change according to the tense, person or time. Now, there are kinds of non-finite verbs. There are three kinds of non-finite verbs like gerunds, infinitives and participles. Now, what is gerund? Gerund is a ing form of the verb. And infinitives are the base form of the verb, and along with that we use to, like to cook. And the third kind of verb is participles. In participles we have two kinds of participles like present and past. Present means we know that we use the ing form of the verb, and in the past tense we use the past form of the verb. Now let us see what is a gerund. A gerund is a base form of the verb. Along with that we add ing. For example, like read plus ing, reading. So read is the base form and we have added ing to the verb. So it is a noun formed from a verb by adding ing. For example, like flying makes me nervous. Flying is a noun for us, and this is a gerund because we have used ing along with the base form of the verb. Now, uses of the gerunds. First and foremost, gerund may be used as a subject of the sentence. Now, what is a subject? Subject is the first part of a sentence, or if in other words, if you say about what, about whom we are speaking, that is called the subject. Here we have an example. Reading is my favorite hobby. Here, reading has come as the subject of the sentence. Then, the second second use of the gerund is that we use as an object of a preposition. We know that what is a preposition? Preposition is the word which shows the relation between the subject and the verb. Now, here the example is she is good at painting. Here we know that the word at is the preposition for us, and we have used the painting as the object to the preposition. And the third form of the use of the gerund is that it is used as a complement. Complement means we are speaking something extra of that noun or pronoun, like that. Now here the example is my favorite thing is to do is cooking. So here the subject is that my favorite thing is to do. The first part of a sentence, the subject is that my favorite thing is to do. Now what is the favorite? What we are saying about the subject is cooking. So these are the uses of gerunds. First and foremost, it is used as a subject of a sentence. That means the first part of a sentence it comes. Secondly, it is used as a object of a preposition, and thirdly, it is used as a complement. Now we go with the uses of infinitives. So now what is the infinitives? Infinitives is a base form preceded by to. For example, like to go, to dance. These are like adding along with the base form we use to. Now what are the uses? Like the other kind gerund we have learned, it is also used as a subject, as we know that the subject comes the first part of a sentence. Here the example is to learn is very important. So the to learn is the subject of the sentence. The same way, to dance is my little girl's dream. So the to dance, the base form along with that we have used to, that is the infinitives. So we can use the infinitives as a subject. The second use is that it is also used as a object. Now here we have the example, they like to play chess. Now we know what is an object. Object is the second part of a sentence, and about what they are doing we are telling, that is called an object. Like they like to play chess. Now they like is we are asking what they like. They like to play. So here we have used the infinitive as a object, as an object. Then the third use of that, it is used as a object of the preposition. Like the gerund, we use the infinitive also as an object of the preposition. Nothing remained except to fold our tents. Now the word except is the preposition for us, and we have used to fold as the object for the preposition. So we have seen it is used as a subject, it is used as an object, and it is used as the object of a preposition. Then again, it is used as an adverb, and we know that adverb always modifies the verb. Here our example is Karan always bring a book to read. Now what is the verb here for us? Bring is the verb for us, and modifying the word is to read. Now why did Karan bring the book? He brings the book to read. Then another use is that it is used as a complement. As we said, it is speaking something more about the subject, like that. Now, as a verb. Now here, her greatest pleasure is to swim. Now the complement verb is the verb for us, and we have used to swim as the complement of the sentence. Her greatest pleasure is to swim. Now there are some other kinds of infinitives like bare infinitives. Now what is that? The infinitives which are used only the base form. Now in that case we have some exceptions, like we use the bare infinitives without to, like for the models like can, could, might, etc. These are the models for us, and along with we do not use the use to, only the base form we use. And secondly, there are some verbs like bit, rare, let, need, etc. And along with these verbs also we do not use the to along with the verb. For example, you must take a break. Here the models must we have, so we haven't used the infinitives to along with the verb. The same way, the second example we have let him sit here, and the verb we have this let, so therefore we haven't used the to along with the verb. So these are the uses of the infinitives. Now we go with the participle, the third kind of the non-finite verb. Now it is used as a verb and as an adjective. In the case of infinitives we have used as an adverb, and in participle we use as a verb as well as an adjective. Now there are three forms like present participles, past participles and perfect participles. Now what are the uses of these participles? It is used an adjective. What is the adjective? Adjective qualifies the noun. For example here, barking dogs seldom bite. Now what is the noun for us? Dogs. So what is the adjective given to this noun? That is barking. Barking dogs seldom bite. Secondly, it uses as a, it qualifies subject or object. Now for the example for us, the book was interesting. Now what is the subject of this sentence? The book. So what we are qualifying the book about that was interesting. So it when we use participle to qualify the subject. For that the example is the book was interesting. Secondly, I saw the baby cry. Now what is the object for us here? Baby, the second part of the sentence. So we are qualifying the baby. What is that? Baby, crying baby. Okay, I saw the baby cry. Now the next use is that to express an earlier action, means which happened beforehand. See the example here. Seeing the police, the thief ran away. Seeing the police, that is already taken place. Then only the thief ran away. So we use the participle to show to express an earlier action, like seeing the police, the thief ran away. Seeing the police is the first action, then comes the thief ran away. Okay. Now another thing is that the past participle that we have seen the present. Now we go with the past participle, and for this we use a third form of the verb like ed, d, t, en, or the same, like for example walked, eaten, meant, etc. Now the past participle denotes an action or a stage which is completed. Now look at the example here. The broken glass was kept on the table. Now which is the past participle here for us? Broken is in the third form of the verb, and kept is also the past participle form, the third form of the verb. Then this the participle we use in the perfect participle also, and please remember that in perfect participle we use having plus along with that third form of the verb. So the example is here like having finished his work, Amit was ready to play. So we have the word having in the perfect participle, and along with that we have used the third form of the verb finished. So having finished his work, Amit was ready for the play. So these are things you need to learn in this chapter. So you need to watch this video. After that, do the exercise of the lesson, the back exercise what is given in your book. Then there are some more things that is added in your unit test, like chapter 22 idioms. From 12 to 22 you have to study. Then chapter 23 confused and misused words, in that 11 to 20 you have to learn. Then again the chapter 25 synonymous and antonyms, in that from 23 to 30 you have to study. So after watching this video, after learning this chapter, you need to the exercise and write in your classwork copy. Thank you.